United States after successfully covering United Nations General Assembly, Shamsul Alam Pantho, do you have anything to give on today's discussions, because so many new events are taking place around the globe?
Thank you so much, Mr. Kanchan. Of course, welcoming Mr. Ishfaq Ilahi Chaudhary in the studio, and Norman Floyd Barnes, who joins us through Zoom. According to Mr. Norman Floyd Barnes, we know that the rhetoric regarding the Caribbean has shifted major. We see that the implementation of CIA into Venezuela's operation or Venezuela's government is, of course, is also one type of breaching international rules and law. But of course, that is quite so important as of today. We know that in the last couple of days and weeks, we have seen various boats being gunned down by the US Army, and it has caused people like a Colombian leader who had gone to the UN in support of Palestine. So right now Latin America is seeing an increased tensions with the United States of America, and this is one of the biggest news that I have for today.
Sir, how does this misidentification of a returned body affect trust between parties and the prospects of this peace? Because one incident already took place, said one person's name, given another person's dead body.
Now the situation remains very fragile, to say the least. But in my understanding, this kind of situation will only or this kind of event will only cause further delays, and of course there are grievances on both sides. There have been a hostage situation on the Israeli side. We know October 7th and how it played out. But 2 years on from that event, today the death toll which the Israel genocide had claimed was almost 67,000. And it took vast condemnation from several world leaders, not only Arab leaders but also Western leaders, for Benjamin Netanyahu to reconsider what he was planning with the Gaza Strip. Of course, the position of US President Donald Trump remains in a position where he is trying to disarm Hamas, trying to reclaim parts of Gaza City through whether or not through Israel. And of course, in all of this, we see the silence of a nation who had a very recent fight with Israel. We can talk about Iran and how Iran had the snapback issue. But coming back to the point here, this will cause a delay between the reconstruction of Gaza and of course Palestinian people. But of course, the misidentification of a dead body, it only shows how far this war has prolonged and how much the humanistic damages really are.
It is a complex situation. Pakistan has done a military and a strategic pact with Saudi Arabia, and somebody is calling it is a NATO type pact. If one country is attacked by the enemies, both the countries will consider the same thing, same feeling. But recently Pakistan has been attacked by Afghanistan. Saudi Arabia did not respond anything. My question is not that. My question is, Pakistan is becoming into a complex situation. They have military and strategy tie with Saudi Arabia and United States as well. On the other side, Pakistan is developing its financial relationship with China. Afghanistan is also a target from China. How you see all this complex situation, financial and military strategies? Do you think South Asia is becoming more vulnerable?
Thank you for asking me this question regarding South Asia. I will add on some detail, but let me answer regarding Pakistan. If you look at the schedule of events of this year, they have already dealt with the Kashmir issue, a long-standing dispute between the two neighbors, India and Pakistan. And of course, that's how we started this analysis on international affairs. And today we see there are, it won't be considered a total all-out war, but a border skirmish is definitely present. Not in the scale of Cambodia or Thailand, but not towards the scale of Iran and Israel. So it is brewing, and whether or not the administration of Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif wants, how he will deal with this issue is a matter of question. But coming to South Asia, there is a development that is going to happen in South Korea later this month. We have the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation coming up, which will of course host Donald Trump. He is set to come to the ally nation of South Korea, and some are assuming, according to the US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, that Trump is also prepared to meet the Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of this very meet. Of course, that would definitely add on to the retrospect between the tensions that include USA and China. But coming back, South Asia is now more exposed than ever, given that it has a lot of countries, that every one of these countries are trying to look at their own intentions of a better future or a better economic growth for each and individual country.
Our international affairs commentator. Sir, I just want to know, recently you have visited UNGA, you have covered it, you have seen the world leaders, you have seen their body language, you have seen their movements, you have seen the capacity of their diplomacy. Do you think Bangladesh needs to improve a lot in terms of diplomatic progress?
Of course, in the field of diplomacy, when it is concerned, Bangladesh is still far behind. Of course, in that the end stage of the UNGA 80 this time around, the Rohingya refugee repatriation issue was slightly touched upon. But as I was landing in Dhaka, I tried to understand how far behind Bangladesh still is in terms of urban development, urban modernization in compared to other states. If you look at Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, these Southeast Asian countries, they have used their opportunity over the last 25 years to bolster their economy, and almost as so if when you go there, it feels like you are in a Western country. So that's how much change these countries nearby Bangladesh that have developed. But coming back to a breaking news today in local news, the high school certificate pass rate is now 58%. It has dropped from several percentage points from the previous years. So this once again just shows the lack of importance, the lack of growth that Bangladesh requires for future economic success and upheaval. But we need an elected government back into this parliament building, and we need to understand how far or so Bangladesh is behind. We are the 100th nation on the passport index. As you were saying, the US is fighting Malaysia in position 12, while Bangladesh remains in position 100. I am sure that the talent of Bangladeshi people, regardless of whichever generation you belong to, have much more potential, and we should be there in a higher rate than other countries.
Sir, where is the main gap that we are not able to cope up with the international standards, service, business, facilities, logistics? Where is the...
I want to find out another city in this planet which shares the same kind of traffic congestion as Dhaka city. We are losing hours every day. These hours are utilized for the economic benefit of Bangladesh. So we must understand what kind of decentralization method we should apply towards Dhaka, and if not, consider a different capital other than Dhaka to relieve this stress that we face on a daily basis.